fact I'd like you to talk about a little bit is you actually confessed to these crimes.
Yes, I did.
And people are saying, what? He didn't do it, so why did he confess? How did that come to pass?
Well, when you've been handcuffed and being beaten for over 17 hours, 16, 17 hours, you have to do something.
The killing of Jamar Murdoch happened on May 21st, 2015. But 15 minutes prior to the shooting of Jamar Murdoch, he, Delvon Franklin, was socializing with a group of 8 friends in the backyard of 2114 West Lincoln Street, Peoria, Illinois. It was a nice sunny day, upper 60s or lower 70s. They were all outside socializing. Minutes later, majority of them left. They stated that they were going to walk to the local convenience store, which at the time only left Delvon Franklin Jr., and a friend, Leon Caesar, which at that time were remained socializing outside in the backyard. They were all sitting on the hood of the car when he saw Eric King, also known as Dulu, standing in the alley talking to his baby mother. He hung out in the alley on a regular. As he was attempting to stretch and get a cigarette out of his pocket, he looked towards the house. His mother was giving a finger gesture telling him to come here. He went to go see what she wanted, and when he arrived inside, she whispered, "Go in the room," and listened to DeAndre and Sterling conversation. DeAndre is his younger brother, and Sterling Johnson is a close friend of the family. Sterling were having a mutual disagreement. He then heard about 4 or 5 gunshots coming from outside. The shots were close, like they were coming from the backyard of 2114 Lincoln, which instantly turned his attention to his son and friend that were still outside. As he was rushing out to get to his son and friend, they were entering the back door stating someone is...
More than just beaten, you were tortured.
I was tortured.
We're talking about America here. We're talking about Chicago. What happened? I don't want you to be uncomfortable, but I want people to understand.
Oh yeah, like I said, I was handcuffed to a wall, and whipping me with telephone books, blackjacks, kicks, punches, slaps, knees, whatever, to make me confess to what they wanted me to do.
In light of all cases recently in the news of individuals being exonerated because they were wrongfully convicted, do you think attention on this issue was long overdue?
I think it is, and I think the reason why a lot of people are starting to pay attention to wrongful convictions are, well, one of the reasons is because you look at how overburdened the public defender's office is. Moreover, I think it's also important to note that there have been a lot of advances in the past 20 years for DNA evidence. And so we're finding a lot of people were sentenced to crimes they didn't commit because the public defender's office didn't have the time to put the investigation or the money to put the investigation needed into a case.
Just going out to help and make sure everything was okay as he approached someone is shooting. He continued to go out the back door to see who was shooting and to see who got shot. Is there anything about our judicial system that was, and the way that it is ran, that you would like to see changed?
There is. At the current moment, it seems that everything seems weighted against the defendant. You have the police that are investigating the crimes. They work with the state's attorney very closely. You have multiple state's attorneys. They get massive amounts of funds from the government, mostly because people don't want to appear soft on crime. And like public defenders seem to just get lost in the shuffle. They get overworked. There's not enough of them. They have too many cases. And the clients, some of the clients they deal with just aren't used to the system, don't know how to help themselves, don't know how to help their defender, and they seem to get plea bargains that seems reasonable up front because it avoids longer jail terms, and they accept it whether or not they're guilty or not just because they can't afford to go to jail for longer or to go to jail at all. And the way that system's set up is that when you get convicted of a crime and it stays on your record, it really severely handicaps you for the rest of your life.
I believe that if more rehabilitation programs were in place, that sentencing guidelines would not be as harsh when it came to punishing our youth?
I do. To me, the justice system was supposed to be there to prevent and to rehabilitate